Hey everybody, this is going to be a tutorial on how to do the bullet button mod for a Xbox 360 controller. Somewhat easy mod to do, takes maybe 30 minutes probably, maybe longer, not all that hard. Anyway, supplies, you're going to need Xbox 360 controller of course, T8 tamper-proof screwdriver, a Dremel with a cutting blade and a sanding tip, and of course buttons, but that comes with the controller, and some bullet casings. Now these bullet casings, there's up to 3 types you can use. This is a 38 special, you can see that focused in. That's what I used. I wouldn't really recommend that because the casings right here, if you can see that edge right there, that's too big, and it's kind of hard to fit through the controller, because as you can see, it only goes in, well, it's kind of hard filming with the phone here, it only goes in like this. It's too big to come up through the bottom. So to do that, to make this work, you'd have to put the controller together like this, and then put this on top. And you could super glue it or just mash it down very hard. Either way, it doesn't stay that well. I wouldn't recommend it. The only reason I used them is because these were all I had that were silver plated or nickel plated. That were silver. I didn't want to use brass. I thought silver looked cooler. So you can use that. You can use a 357 Magnum, which is pretty much the exact same size. Only difference is the bullet and the powder and all that, but the casing's the same. And what I would recommend, the last choice, is a 9mm. And those fit perfectly in and out here, so you can just glue them down onto your button and not ever have to worry about them again. So anyways, to get started, first we take our button and our Dremel, and first thing you have to do, well actually, I forgot a step. You got to take your casing and lay it down here next to your button. With the marker or something, you mark right where that white part on the button ends, and you mark that on all 4 of your bullets. And then we take our Dremel here, cut that down. That part, you need safety glasses, because metal could fly up in your eye, very dangerous. So I would definitely recommend safety glasses. Anyways, after you get that done, you'll have, next is your your button. And what we have to do here is we take our Dremel, and you want to cut off right to where that white plastic ends. If y'all can see that, just right, it's kind of hard anyways, right about there. You cut that off, and when you're done, you should just have pretty much a plastic A, and your bullet should somewhat look like this, except it would still have all the yellow coating, or in this case, green coating around it. And once you're done with that, now we're going to need our sanding tip, and you take that, and then you want to, I'd recommend like a flathead, or other people have used, I think, a jeweler's pick or something. It's kind of just like a screwdriver that's pointed on the end. And what you want to do, let me see if I can get this, just kind of secure it in there like that somewhat, so that you can roll it, and that makes it a whole lot easier. And in this step, you just want to sand off all that green plastic till it's down to the white there. And once you get there, you're almost halfway done. As you can see on some of mine, I have some tape around them. I sanded it off too much, and these buttons wouldn't fit as well. They just kind of fall off, so I put the tape on there that helped secure much better, which if you had a 9mm, you could just glue these down, which why I recommend that, not these. But I like them because of their nickel-plated casing. So, anyways, once you get there, you can do one other thing. You could do like I did and add some LEDs to these. Now, you don't have to. Most people don't. They just stop here, and you take your casing, you just glue it down, and just like that, and you're done. There's your bullet button. Or you could do like me, and because I like LEDs. That was my favorite mod to do to a controller. So anyways, what I did is I kind of cut maybe a little bit too far, or I don't know. Or actually, I didn't cut far enough. Whoops, had the camera wrong there. You want it to where you shouldn't really be able to see anything but those holes. Not that it really matters, no one's going to see that, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, I think it's better like that, how I have it, because you can actually, there's holes for the LED to fit through. And if there isn't, just take, my Dremel came with a little bit, if I can adjust this here, a little screw bit. I just put that on there. I don't even know what size this is, size tiny. And just drill the hole through there, one or two holes. Put the LED through there. Just kind of slipped it down like that, if you can see. And then you've got the LED part done. And if you're using 9mm, then you can glue them down. Oh, wait, can't glue them down yet. Also, to do this, you have to deprime and drill a bigger hole into your casings. Mine, to deprime them, there's two different ways I know to do this. Most people probably won't have this, but I don't know, you might. You take at a reloading bench, and with certain dies and stuff, you can just do, it's hard to explain. You can use that, if you have one, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can just deprime them using a reloading bench type set deal. I don't even know. Or most people probably won't have that. And I don't know if most people have the second solution to this. You can also take a very small punch, flip it over, put the punch. Oh wait, nope. I don't remember. I don't know. Either way, you punch it down this way or that way. You got to play with it. I can't remember. I use the reloading bench, but you just take a punch and a hammer and hit it a couple times, and the primer will come right out, and then you'll have something like this. Now, that hole for the primer isn't all that big, so you're going to have to take an 8mm, no, not 8mm, yeah, or 8/64, 1/8, there we go, 1/8 drill bit, and drill it down in there a little bigger, make that hole bigger, so that the LEDs will fit. And as you can see, fits perfect in there. 1/8 is perfect. I wouldn't recommend anything else. So anyways, now after you drill that, then if you have 9mm, you can just glue it down and be done with your button part. And the second part for making LEDs, of course, is wiring them in. To do this, you also have to you can take wire cutters, I use the Dremel, anything. As you can see, each button has a little notch here that stays in the controller. And you usually want to take the biggest one, or just kind of look at this part on the controller. Whichever notch is pointing down, you want to go on that button and cut a second notch in this part. That way your wires can go through and it doesn't feel like you have them when you're playing. And once you get that done, you've got some wires wired to the end of the LEDs. You want to wire them into the controller. Now, this is a CG2 controller. If you don't know which one you have, I'd recommend Googling it or checking other YouTube videos. Maybe later I'll post a tutorial on how to check that. But anyways, I use the CG2, and there's not really, I don't know any way so far to wire LEDs so that the LEDs turn on and off when your controller turns on and off. So I just did rumble activated ones. And this is a very easy tutorial to do with any lights, wiring in rumble ones. You just take look at your controller, and as you can see, the rumblers, let me get this out, kind of hard to do with one hand. As you can see, the rumblers here have a black and red wire connecting them. And that runs up to there. So obviously, black is negative, red's positive. So we just look up here on that notch, and as we can see, red is to the right. So that means that this notch right here is positive, and that one is negative. So then what we do is, after we've got our LEDs wired, I'd also recommend wiring them in a parallel series. If you don't know how to do that, look that up on Google. I also might post another tutorial. Not right now though. It's hard to explain in a couple minutes. So anyways, I've got these wired up, and yes, as you can see, it's not that great of a job. It's a good job, but it's not that pretty looking. But that doesn't matter. No one sees that. So you take and you wire your positive wire there and negative there. And also on the blue one is very bright, takes a lot of energy. I tried putting them all on this rumbler, but it just couldn't supply enough energy for the blue. It wouldn't barely light up. So I had to wire that one all the way to this rumbler. Now that won't really affect the time. It barely affects the timing that the lights come on. You can hardly tell. It still looks all good. So it doesn't matter. You could put them all to this one or half and half. It doesn't matter. But what I failed to or forgot to do, and I definitely recommend you doing it, because now after this tutorial I'm gonna have to fix this. My yellow and red lights went out because I forgot to hook up a resistor, as you can see right here. I've heard, I think 56 OHM resistor works for this. Right now all I have is 100, so I'm going to see if those will work or something. Maybe take apart some old toy that has one. I don't know, just get one of those. I've heard that all you have to do is wire it to the red and the yellow, which would make sense because that's the only one that died on me. And the green and the blue can take almost any. That one you don't need to worry about a resistor. Not so sure on green. It's still alive right now, so I'd say probably don't have to. Just the yellow and red. Definitely want to put a resistor, otherwise you're going to be in the same boat as me right now. And that doesn't look all that good when you've only got half your lights working. So anyways, that's how you make bullet buttons and with lights. Not that hard of a tutorial. The light part might be. Need some experience in soldering and wiring lights. But anyways, don't forget to comment on the video, like it, and subscribe. I will be posting more tutorials on this later, but just not right now. So, see ya.